Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a young woman named Rose. She was beautiful, kind-hearted, and had a passion for nature. She loved to spend her days wandering through the lush forests and rolling hills that surrounded her home. One day, while on one of her walks, she stumbled upon a man lying unconscious under a tree. She quickly ran to his side to see if he was all right. The man's name was Alexander, and he was a traveler who had gotten lost in the woods. He was a handsome man with piercing blue eyes, chiseled jawline, and long golden hair. Rose took care of Alexander, nursing him back to health with the help of herbs and berries she had gathered from the forest. As the days passed, Rose and Alexander grew closer, sharing stories about their lives and spending hours talking and laughing together. Before long, Rose realized that she was falling in love with Alexander. She had never felt this way about anyone before, and it scared her. She was afraid that he would leave once he was well enough to continue his travels. However, Alexander felt the same way about Rose and had no intention of leaving her side. One day, Alexander took Rose on a walk deep into the forest to a secluded clearing surrounded by towering trees. He led her to a small stream and asked her to sit beside him. "Rose," he said, taking her hand, "I have never met anyone like you. You are the light in my life, and I cannot imagine living without you. Will you be mine forever?" Tears filled Rose's eyes as she nodded, overwhelmed with happiness. Alexander took her hand and, with a smile, slipped a golden ring onto her finger. "This ring represents my love for you," he said. "I promise to always cherish and protect you for as long as I live." And so, Rose and Alexander were married in a small ceremony, surrounded by their closest friends and family. They built a beautiful home in the forest, where they lived together, happy and in love. They spent their days exploring the forest and caring for the creatures that lived there. Rose and Alexander lay in their bed, their bodies entwined in a warm embrace. The moonlight streamed in through the open window, casting a soft glow over their bodies. The sounds of the forest lulled them into a peaceful slumber, and they were content just to hold each other. Alexander's arm was wrapped tightly around Rose, and she snuggled into his chest, feeling safe and loved. She closed her eyes and let out a contented sigh, knowing that she was exactly where she was meant to be. Alexander stroked her hair, playing with the soft strands, and whispered into her ear, "I love you, Rose. I will always love you, now and forever." Rose smiled and turned to face him, her eyes shining with love. "I love you too, Alexander." More than words can say. They lay there for a moment, lost in their own thoughts, before Alexander took her hand and brought it to his lips, kissing it gently. Rose's heart swelled with love, and she felt a wave of happiness wash over her. Alexander brushed his thumb over Rose's cheek, tracing the outline of her face before leaning in for a kiss. Their lips met in a soft, tender kiss, and they were lost in each other's embrace. The kiss was slow and sweet, filled with love and passion. Alexander's tongue traced Rose's lips, seeking entry, and she opened her mouth, welcoming him in. The kiss deepened, becoming more intense, and they were lost in the moment, lost in their love. Eventually, they broke apart, their hearts beating faster, and they lay there, looking into each other's eyes. "Good night, my love," Alexander said, planting another soft kiss on Rose's lips. "Good night, my love," Rose whispered, snuggling back into his embrace. And so, they drifted off to sleep, wrapped in each other's arms, surrounded by love and happiness. They were content, knowing that they were meant to be together, and that their love would last a lifetime. Years passed, and Rose and Alexander's love only grew stronger. They welcomed 2 children into the world, a boy and a girl, and raised them with love and care. Their children grew up to be kind and adventurous, just like their parents. One day, when Rose and Alexander were old and gray, they sat together in their favorite spot by the stream. They held hands and looked into each other's eyes, filled with love and memories. "Alexander," Rose said, "thank you for being my rock, my support, and my love. You have been the greatest adventure of my life, and I am grateful for every moment we have spent together." Alexander smiled and leaned in for a kiss. "Rose," he said, "you have been my reason for living. I love you now, and I will love you always." And so, Rose and Alexander spent the rest of their days together, surrounded by love, nature, and their family. Their love story was one for the ages, a true tale of two soulmates who had found each other and never let go.